Okay guys, so let's address the elephant in the room. So recent news outlets have published this article which is spreading around the internet, which is the fact that yes, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has lost 90% of its player base in less than a month. And of course, people are panicking. They're saying this is the end of Sparking Zero. That's it, we're gone. But let's look deeper into this because things are not what they seem. But at the same time, there is a reason why people are leaving this game, and it's a valid reason. And some people don't want to talk about it. Some people feel uncomfortable because they think that if they say it out loud, they're gonna be told they're weak or they're losers or they have no skill. So yeah, it's quite interesting guys because there's different opinions, but this is the article here. Only 10% of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero players remain, losing 90% of its player base. Now this is just on Steam, so forget Steam here for a second. Go to Steam, as you can see here, and we go here, maximum, as you can see here. So it went from a peak of 121 to 11,000 players at the same time, right? So obviously it's quite a big drop, as you can imagine, but it's every single video game when it comes out, there are people who play it initially and then they kind of drop it because there's so many games to play. So this is normal. Now the problem here is the following: this drop was quite sharp after the first couple of days. As you can see here, it went from 50,000 very quickly to almost like 10,000, and now it's not recovering. So there's not that many people playing it anymore. And there are a couple of reasons to this, the first one is the fact that the game per se, although it's fun to begin with and it has fun gameplay, it has something quite bad fundamentally with the offline mode, which is the story mode, mostly basically, and the ranked mode. So the story mode, which is just shocking to me, is that there's no real reason to do all the what ifs and the scenarios because you just get no rewards. Like, you can buy all the characters from the shop, and that's it, and you unlock some additional stuff or like skins or titles in the story mode, but that's it. Like, there's literally that you unlock so little in the story mode that you have no kind of like drive to finish it. Like, I still haven't finished. I only finished the Goku story and just nearly finished Frieza, so I haven't even done like half of the story mode. And the reason I'm not doing it is because there's just no drive for me to do it. There's no reason, because I'm just wasting my time. All I get is some additional cutscenes, just seen already, or some what if short like 30-second cutscenes. But like, going through the gameplay of the story, going through all the battles like as almost like a show, like a side scroller, just to get that short cutscene of 30 seconds, I just don't feel like it's worth it, because I'm not unlocking anything in the game. That there's just nothing to unlock. Everything can be bought from the store, and then once you buy it, that's pretty much it. The cosmetics as well from the store are really basic, really plain. You can't really customize your characters. You can put the halo on Goku's head and Vegeta and other small stuff, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, pretty sad, right? It's really, really sad. The next part is the ranked mode. Now people, of course, are really annoyed about the ranked mode, and it's understandable, because the ranked mode per se, there's lots of cheese possible in the game, right? I mean, we all knew that the characters are not balanced. That's not a problem whatsoever. The problem here is the fact that many characters have just so many cheese mechanics, like the instant ultimate, the after image strike, which is, of course, you can avoid it, but it's still very annoying, and you can spam it like crazy. Like, these very cheesy abilities, which would be very expensive, people can just spam them. People can just spam them one after the other, and because of that, when you go to Sparky mode, you can do infinite ki blast stun. All guys know, just ki, and you throw the ultimate. And then the third problem is that there's so many ultimates which are unblockable. I mean, Gohan Super Saiyan 2, Beerus, Goku Super Form 1 with the Spirit Bomb. What else we have here? I mean, there's a lot more, I just don't remember. Broly unblockable as well. Broly Super Saiyan, Legendary Super Saiyan unblockable. Kefla, although it's not unblockable, is so widespread that you cannot avoid it. So there's quite a lot of ultimates which are just too over the top. They're unblockable, and to be honest, they shouldn't be unblockable. So because you can go to your Sparky mode straight away, spam, and then go the unblockable ultimate, like, there's no really strategy to the the gameplay other than just picking the same characters again and again and again, doing the ultimate and then boom, doing it and job done, which is annoying, right? Because you want to have strategy, you want to have combat. And yeah, now again, this is 90% of Steam players, right? So on the PlayStation, I'm pretty sure, usually on consoles, people play these games for longer. So maybe on consoles, they only lost maybe like 50 or 60% potentially, right? I would say maybe at least 50%, right? But even those 50% people, they left because, yeah, it's just like, that's the problem. Let's see the comments of the people, what they're saying, right? Which is quite interesting. It's simple, really. Shitty online plays are not enough, shitty online players and not enough offline game modes to keep people playing. That's true. What idiot game devs need to understand that online isn't some magical band-aid that can cover up issues. If your game is barren with content, has rage quitters, and provides no reason to keep picking up the game and playing for an extended period of time, nobody is going to come back. Yeah. I mean, look at this one. I've gotten a player who was spamming Dodonray with Tien infinitely times. I had no chance to get to him. It was a real fuck up. They should do a cooldown timer for stuff like this, like 5 seconds, right? It's funny how you say rage quitters ruin the game. No, it's the game itself and the player base that plays the same character over and over and spams the same shit over and over. They need to add key sickness because of the vanish, spamming, and crap. And it's true, I mean, that's the problem, right? Key sickness is very fundamental to this game because key sickness would actually do it. And if you do an ultimate, for example, then you have key sickness, so you cannot charge your key that fast. And even your skill points like charge slower because you released your ultimate. So it would just be much more balanced. Like they should add key sickness, I know, like 60-70% key charge, slower, or 50% at least. And then basically people would be more strategic with their gameplay, right? Simple. It's not a live service game. You aren't forced to play every hour of every day. You can beat the story mode and then move on. I have a feeling Super Mario Odyssey doesn't have much of a player base either, which is kind of, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true. It's just a fun game. The people who were waiting for Budokai Tenkaichi 4 will be playing it for years. They were people waiting for all this time for this one, which is true. This is what happens with games, hyped for a few weeks, then on to the next one. I'm still rocking this one myself. Right. What do you think it happened? The game has nothing to offer besides the graphics. Everything else is bad. I mean, I agree to disagree. The game is pretty good in other aspects, but of course it does have some issues in offline. Like I said, the story is pretty barren, to be honest. Like offline content is pretty barren. It's just not a finished product. It fails to capture the fun party experience and fails to be a competitive game. The attacks lack impact and are unmemorable. No what if transformations or fusions, no heroes characters, limited stage destructions, limited maps, and more. What's that? Because it's a niche game with no much to it. We all finished the content. From a competitive perspective, the game is unbalanced, which for OGs is great, and I personally love it. Sadly, any big competitive game is balanced at least quarterly with patches shifting metas, which is something we most likely won't get on this. What else we have here? Repetitive, it has no content, that's only on PC. What else we have here? The reason I don't listen to critics and content creators is because they overhype things up, especially in the honeymoon period. I knew the first day I played it, the game wasn't very in-depth, and aside from having good gameplay and looked great, it's actually really bad and doesn't give you much to do at all. That's the problem, right? Because that's the main issue. The story mode is very, very barren. And again, I have no motivation, honestly, guys. Like, this is how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel the same. I have no motivation to finish the story mode because when I started, and I know that I'm gonna spend, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in the story mode with our characters and the what if battles, which are really hard to get. Like, I just feel like, why am I doing this? I'm not unlocking any characters. hours. I'm not gaining new stuff, like new skills. Even the skill items are useless because you cannot use them in any mode. In ranked, nobody uses them. Everyone plays it without the skill items. So the skill items, the skill capsules are completely useless because there's no game mode which you can use them properly. There's no survival mode. There's no fight against 100 mode. There's no like kind of like I know Dragon Ball Budokai 3 had this like RPG kind of mode. So after each fight you can like increase your health and like recover energy and stuff like that, right? So it would be like kind of like a roguelike kind of fighting arena game, right? Which had that in Budokai 3. Again, that's not there, you know, which was really cool. So it's just like it's just a lot of stuff, man. Unfortunately, the reality is that Sparking Zero is kind of inferior to BT3. BT3 was the better game. It felt more complete. Sparking Zero is even lacking a bunch of outfits and modes, and the game mechanics were solid. I cannot say the same for Sparking Zero, especially when it comes to game mechanics. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem, right? That's the thing, right? Easy code came out, everything is unblockable in a few hours. I mean, that's the thing, you can unlock everything in a couple of hours. Once all the main content is done and that's left is multiplayer, and that's a bit unbalanced. Just needs solid DLC. Dropping the month before COD thought it never good for any game, right? Which makes sense, right? But yeah, that's the thing, guys. That's the main issue here, to be honest. We also have the comments here from this website. It says here the following: reportedly, this drop in players is due to frustrations dealing with the game's balance. There are reports that players are cheating and rage quitting during online gameplay. Notably, a rage quit will result in the winning player receiving no points for their efforts. Okay, which is again a problem. So yeah, I mean, not surprised. Again, you shouldn't really be surprised that's happening. Bandai Namco made a mistake with the Sparking Zero gameplay, especially like after image spam, instant sparking spam, ranked having no rage quit penalty and not giving the person who stayed the points, super counters, vanish wars, lack of customization. It's a good bit, right? I mean, that's the thing, like even the vanish wars, I just get so bored, man. I mean, we enter a vanish war and we just press R1, R1, R1 for like 15 seconds. I mean, are you crazy? Like, I just get bored, man. I mean, that's just stupid, right? And the super counters mean that effectively you cannot like do a proper combo because you can be countered at any time. So even doing proper combos is not allowed in this game, right? Which is just annoying. Bad multiplayer design, online exploits, boring repetitive gameplay, and bad approach to player retention. Something like Budokai 3 story mode would serve a good purpose here, and more frequently updating the game via a seasonal player retention approach would do it justice. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, that's the thing, right? But yeah, everyone waits for it to be finished. This is mostly a game for DBZ fans, and DBZ fans will play the single player on couch at home. The multiplayer was never going to keep people for a long time, and like all single player games, the main attendance is for the first month and the cell count matter more. Yeah, pretty much, right? The game is a party game with no real competitive skill, and once you learn vanishing and countering, this was meant to be, it's not Xenoverse or Fighters, right? What we have here, there are poorly implemented mechanics that are overused online. I understand that it should not be a balanced game, but why not put in as an additional option, not the main one, a mode with at least balanced stats? Online modes are the main problem of this game, right? I mean, that's the problem, right? I predicted this a while before the game came out. I said that it'd be a good game, but people were treating it like the second coming of Christ. It ended up like Kakarot, where it's just gonna be another good Dragon Ball game, only it's actually good, unlike Kakarot. Yeah, this is incredibly misleading since this comes from Steam and doesn't take into account console players. I know that, of course, that makes sense, right? But yeah, it's as if it didn't have Sim Dragon, Mission 100, and Survival Mode, like I mentioned, right? These modes were what made Budokai Tenkaichi 3 an insanely addictive game, even without an online mode. And the AI not perfect countering you after every other hit, right? Take all that away and game dies fast. I mean, that's the thing. This is, I think, one of the best comments. I mean, I was so addicted to Mission 100. I was so addicted to Sim Dragon. I mean, this was like super addictive because you can start off with your character in survival mode as well, and then like go into the missions, like, you know, play with a different character, and again, you could combo properly. Right now the AI literally stops all of your freaking combos and super counters you. You have to start from scratch. Like, the only valid strategy in against AI is literally sparking. You go sparking, you rush, you attack, ultimate. Sparking, rush, attack, ultimate. That is it. Like, that is literally the main issue there, because super counter should have never existed. That's the problem. Super counter has killed enjoyment in the game, because being able to super counter everything is freaking annoying, and it just breaks immersion in the combos, and it just makes it very annoying. That's it. That's the main issue. And of course, the unblockable ultimate, which just ruins the fun for everyone effectively. If you don't use those characters, which are the main characters for the unblockables, you already have a major handicap in the game straight away off the bat. But guys, that's it for today's video. As always, see you later in the next one. Let me know in the comments what you believe. Do you think it's the game is still good? It's bad? Are you still playing it? Do you think that, you know, the game is going to recover with maybe DLC, season pass? I don't know. What's your opinion, of course? And as always, guys, see you in the next videos.